Last night we had Manly's new recruit Luke Brooks on, and he seemed in good spirits also. Did you just feel like you needed a bit of a fresh start? You just needed a new beginning?
Yeah, definitely. I think that was, like the first couple of weeks at Manly sort of made my decision, know that I made the right decision. So, it's been a good fresh start for me. So I'm, looking forward to playing.
We just lost audio there, but he was in a great frame of mind, very confident. He's left the West Tigers. I have to ask the question. Was it the West Tigers that was weighing Luke Brooks down, and do we expect him to be a different player this year?
You know what the worst thing that ever happened to Luke Brooks was? It was that first game he ever played. He came in at halfback against St George at the Illawarra at the SCG.
I was in that game.
Yeah, you applied for the Tigers.
Didn't you notice?
Yeah, no, I didn't actually. Might have said something about your Tiger career.
You're not the only one who didn't notice.
But the thing about that, he came and he played so well, and everybody thought they'd found the answer to the halfback problem. And everybody I've spoken to, and I've spoken to coach on the hill at Leichhardt Oval, blokes who used to coach him, they've all said he was always a running 5'8". Mm-hmm. That was always his job. The Tigers convinced themselves they could convert him into an organising halfback. And for year after year after year, they pushed with it. And what Anthony Seibold said last night about him, that we're going to free him up. He's got, and Luke Brooks said himself, he's got Tom Trbojevic behind him organising play, and he's got Daly Cherry-Evans on the other side organising play, and it just frees him up to play footy. And when we've seen Luke Brooks at his running game, that's again when he plays his best football. So I think the fact that he doesn't have to go there and go through all that, try to get the team around the park, and you know as a playmaker yourself, it's not an easy thing to do, and if it's not a natural thing to do, it's a hard thing to learn. And some players never quite get it. The testament to Luke Brooks is that he's so talented that despite the fact that he never played his natural game at the Tigers, he's played so many games in first grade. He's played for so long in first grade. I think this is going to be a season where everybody's going to look back and look at Luke Brooks and go, mate, you know what, this kid, we've got him wrong the whole time. It's Tigers most of all.
It's crazy that he's probably got less expectation, like you just said, because he's just got to go there and do his job. And as a half, yes, confidence is king. And losing so many games like he has the last few years, it couldn't have been good for him.
Well, he had 7 coaches in 12 seasons at the West Tigers. That can't be good in terms of your development. And I think one of the other big challenges...
Particularly as a playmaker too.
Yeah. Of course. And I think one of the other great challenges that Luke faced was when he emerged and he had that standout game that Kenty spoke about. And Braith, you can speak to this and understand
it firsthand.
As well as anybody, right? Behind the scenes, he started to get compared to Andrew Johns. People were saying, oh, this kid could be anything. This kid could be the next Joey. Now, you've lived that personally yourself. It's an enormous burden. He always struggled with it. And I think the move to Manly will unlock and bring out the best in Luke Brooks.
It's not just the losing of games, though, Braith. He was the whipping boy.
Yeah.
He was the guy everyone pointed the finger at when they lost, or the majority of time. And that wears you down. And you could see it wore him down. And having spoken to him yesterday, as you saw on the show yesterday, he just looked, it's like the weight of the world's off his shoulders. And with Tommy around, they've talked about the impact Tommy's had on him at training. Playing with a guy like Tommy, even just training alongside a guy like Tommy, it's been cathartic for him. It's been eye-opening for him. So I think we're going to see a really good Luke Brooks Sunday night.
Let's get away from the lights of Vegas and focus on the struggling teams that really are under pressure for season 2024. And we'll start with the West Tigers. Reedy, apparently you've been drinking the Kool-Aid and you're pretty confident that they're
Well, I
drank
it last year, Braith, and that didn't work out too well, did it? I think
they must have spiked it.
I don't know if I said I made the 8. You might have taken me out of context. You misquoted me there.
Oh, no.
I'm not going
to declare that they'll make the 8 this year, but I think they'll be better.
Have you been to Toddy's again?
No, I haven't been to Toddy's again.
That's tomorrow.
But they won their first trial pretty impressively. They struggled in the second one.
Okay.
But
tell us why. Where have you got them finishing and why?
I think they'll be top 12. I think their halves are better. I'm not tipping them to make it.
That'll be your best.
Well, that's better. They've won 17 teams. They finished 17th last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
12.
I think they'll be better. I think
in.
their halves will be better. I think Benji will be good from... I just think they'll be better, Braith.
Did you watch their trials?
Where are they going to be better? Where are they going to be better?
Sydney, I think their halves will be better.
Really?
That's a good start.
Rudy, did you watch the
They
trial?
don't have a goal kicker.
I didn't
They
see
don't
the
have a
trial.
goal
You
kicker.
might want to go and have a look at that.
They'll be going up in 4s, not 6s.
Well, I'm sure they'll find somebody who can kick goals.
Well, they've got
Please.
Coruscant, but he's not a first-string goal kicker.
He'll make a couple. He probably
Look,
kicks it.
no doubt he'll make it.
Something
I
like
hope
a
I'm
few.
wrong, but I saw alarming signs. St George Illawarra
Trial
absolutely
game.
physically dominate. Doesn't
Trial
matter,
game
Reedy,
hoops.
right?
It does
Benji
matter.
spoke afterwards
does
and
matter.
said that the issue that he had was the thing that you don't have to pack effort. You don't have to pack energy. When you're a professional footballer, you just bring that to the contest. You want to fight over every 1%er. And they were not interested in rolling the sleeves up, putting the overalls on and having a crack.
And the other thing too is if they weren't up physically to St George Illawarra's level, it's too late to get there now.
They've got the
pre-season,
buy in round
off-season's
one,
over.
Kenty. They got 3
Well,
weeks.
that's
They've
not
got an
gonna
extra
help
week.
them. I'm talking about getting yourself in the physical readiness that
Week
you
one,
need to be.
week one of the trials will be the Warriors in New Zealand.
They're 12-man Warriors.
Well, still the Warriors, mate.
But Warriors have still played a lot of the kids that we are coming through. It wasn't the first string Warriors.
One positive, the
Let's
local junior, Lachlan
Galvin,
Yeah,
outstanding.
He came on
Yeah.
and had some really nice touches, solid all-round kicking game. That is a little ray, I hope, for the West Tigers.
So, Reedy, you're confident they're going to do well. You two, not so much. If they don't do well, the person who's going to come under the microscope is going to be their coach, Benji, right? First season, long-term deal. How do you think Benji's going to handle the season?
Oh, look, I don't know. Look, we all know Benji personally, and he's a cool customer. The problem Benji will have, I think, is that his safety net's gone, and that's Lee Hatchbentalis and Justin Pascoe, because they were the ones that put him in the job. They were the ones that put him on this extraordinary deal where he's going to do 2 years as an apprentice to Tim Sheens and then 3 years as the head coach, which was unprecedented as a deal. Sheens has gone after a season. Benji's now going to do 4 years. But he was never going to be sacked while ever Hatchbentalis and Pascoe were there, because they were the ones that put him in. So they would have had to take some ownership of that decision going wrong. So they would have given him every chance. Whereas Shane Richardson, whether he stays there or not now, it's not his decision. Now, the Tigers have another poor year, a lot of pressure on Benji. They won't sack him this year. But if they start poorly again next year and they're going for what would be their 4th year in a row with a wooden spoon, that's when the pressure's going to come. So this year he'll be fine. He's got to make some inroads. He's got to make some improvements. There's been a big turnover. The thing in Benji's favour, and this is where I admire Benji, he's backed himself. He's driven a lot of change in that club. He's made decisions about people. Scott Fulton, he didn't want Scott Fulton there. Scott Fulton has shown what he shown.
Yeah.
David Nofaluma, one of their longest-serving players.
So he's got rid of people to get what he wants. So if it does fail, it's not on anybody else but Benji. But if it succeeds, it's also on Benji.
Benji's a winner, but I'll tell you what, gee, it's a hell of a job. When you're so early doors into your career as a coach, because he virtually just come straight out of playing, did some media work, and then took the job that is the West Tigers.
I'm quietly confident he'll do well, and I'm confident the West Tigers will improve.
You
this
with
year.
me?
No, I think they'll improve. I'm not too sure how good they'll go, but I think they'll improve.
You're not tipping for a top 12.
Thank you. Top 12. That was a bold statement, that one. Thank you, Hoops. Thank you, Reedy. Outstanding again. We're going to get to a break after it. We're going to have Roosters coach Trent Robinson and player Luke Keary. And we're at Resorts World. Las Vegas features 3,506 guest rooms and suites, an innovative next-generation gaming floor, over 50 world-class food and beverages options, 5,000 capacity theatre. It's all happening here. It is the place to be, Resorts World.